Okay, welcome back. In this video, we are reviewing how GBPUSD, EURUSD, gold and silver closed this week, focusing on key price action and important takeaways moving into next week. So let's get straight into the chart. So starting with GBPUSD, our bias for this week was a bearish move, which we had a zone already which we are already trading from last week. So if we move over to the weekly time frame, due to a monthly close below a level around here, I was expecting price to sell. So price created this engulfing 2 weeks ago, and then we went into the daily structure and checked if we have a daily structure, which we had. Price created this level right here on the daily time frame, and then on the 4 hour time frame we had this level where we're expecting price to sell from this level right here, and then we had this level right here, using this as an engineered liquidity, engineered inducement. So price tapped into this level and sold. Then we had a confirmation, which was here, and then this week, when we came in this week, when I dropped the first market review for the week, we looked at GU and we were around here. Yeah, this was Monday, which I said that I was expecting price to sell from here because of this candle midpoint here. We have this bearish candle, and this also closed bearish below. So I expected price to sell from this structure. I did not expect price to get to this high, and then price reacted. Price came in, and then price created an engineered inducement and then swept it. And after sweeping it, price did what? Price sold. We entered from here. We entered from this level right here, using this engulfing, and price sold, and we closed right here. So this is where we closed this structure, and this was just for this week. And the previous week we had a sale, which we talked about on last week market review, and finally we had our TP this week, which we close this also here. Also the confirmation I told you about at the beginning of this week that I also entered. So these were the three position I took on GU this week, and I also closed this right here too, right here. So every level we talked about, which I was willing to sell, to just one level actually, so using every level. But the level we talked about, price actually sold from that level, and our bias was bearish, and price did what? Price sold, and that was GU. Was a very interesting one on GU. This GU actually gave me my best trade this week and my biggest profit of the month from GU alone. It's crazy. Best trade of the month so far is this GU sale, and it's so beautiful. So what the price actually do per day? On Monday, we had this sweep against Friday's high, which was able to give us a confirmation which we used to sell. Tuesday dropped, and then we finally closed this trade on Tuesday. And when price dropped on Tuesday, price closed below here. So I would have entered another sell to continue the bearish move, but because of this price closing below this level, so I did not engage on any sell on GU again until price came back here the next day and finally closed below this level. And Thursday we didn't see anything, and on Friday price just did a little bullish move and closed with an indecision candle. No, it's closed bullish, but the week above and the week below looks the same. So going to the next week, we're going to talk about what we'll be looking forward next week, not what price we do, because we don't control the market. So that's for GU. And now over to EURUSD. On EURUSD, we can see right here. Well, first, on EURUSD for the week, we said we were going to be bullish here. So we said we were going to be bullish, and price did something very, 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 very crazy. So let's move over to weekly time and look at this. So from this move, price gave us right here, which was this engulfing. We had this nice engulfing right here as a confirmation to go bullish, but price came in and price failed the whole thing. So this is not where we actually trade. We trade from the daily time frame. If you look at the daily time frame, where I said I was expecting price to come into, which was to come into this level right here, or this breaker block right here. So you see what price did. Now look at this. Price tapped into this breaker block. Let me move over to the 4-hour time frame. Price tapped into this breaker block. Price tapped into this breaker block right here. And after tapping into this breaker block, it did not give us our confirmation. Then this was on Tuesday. Price came in again and gave us a confirmation. Even gave us a change in state of delivery, whereby price closed above this level. And after closing above this level, then what happened next? Then boom, price took us out. It was crazy. Price gave us this other block confirmation, then took us out. This breakaway confirmation and took us out. And not only the price do that, price also came into our area of interest, which was this FVG here, and using this level as an inducement. And we bought from this level. We bought from this level. Bought from this level. Also bought from the confirmation right there. After the changes to delivery, we took these two trades. Price gave us the 2-hour and reverse. We took this confirmation too. And price just came in, tapped it, and destroyed the whole thing. And it was so wild. This was how we took two losses on EURUSD this week. So this level that we said we are expecting price expected it a little, and then price failed it. So after price did that, what else did I do? Now let's move over to the daily time frame. So if we see on the daily time frame right here, we can see the structure right here, and this was our recent 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 structure. This was our recent structure, and from this recent structure right here, we can see that this other block level right here. Here, I guess, and we can see something after price tapped into this level, sweeping this. After price tapped into this level and sweeping this, then we entered from the 4-hour time frame. So we entered from the 4-hour time frame. So we bought from this level, this other block right here. Let me streamline this and do this. Okay, so we bought from this level right here, looking at the same target. So this was what we entered on last week. And let's see what price does. Let's see how price is gonna go on this. But this was what we had on EURUSD. So let's move over to the daily time frame. and see what actually happened. So on the daily time frame, we can see this, that price did what? Price gave us this confirmation from the weekly bias and then failed this confirmation. And on failing it, price came into this level, this other block right here, and then we were able to enter from the 30 minute, from the 4 hour time frame and move. So right now there is no structure shifts for me where I'm gonna say that I'm changing the bias on this Euro USD. So I don't have any change in bias on this yet. So that being said, I will still be bullish. But I'm currently looking at something right now where this is not looking beautiful. Yeah, so I'm currently looking at this and it's not looking beautiful. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. But on Monday, when I drop the next weekly bias, by then I might have confirmed my confusion right now. I can't say anything on this, but we're gonna see. Let's see how it goes. So this is what we had on EURUSD this week. Now moving over to gold. Yes, gold. Gold moved pretty interesting this week. So from last week, we said when price closed here, right here, we said we are looking for price to take this low, which I explained why I wanted price to take this low, to take this level right here, which came from the 4 hour time frame. Where I said if price does a range like this, if price does a range like this, and then breaks and close below, with a high chance of price doing something like this before it does any other thing. So that being said, let's all move back to the weekly time frame and see. So from the weekly time frame, we are bullish for the week, and what we expected from price actually gave it to us. So if we move over to the 4 hour time frame, where we had this range here. So from this range right here, then price dropped. Then we expected price to retest on this level before we continue the bullish move. So if we look at this, you notice that price actually continued that bullish move, but it was not visible on gold, the top of that move, or is not visible on gold forex brokers. So you can see this on this crypto equivalent of gold on Bybit, which this confirmation came on Saturday. So price tapped into a breaker block here, and after price tapped into that breaker block, then we call this confirmation right here, this confirmation to sell from this level, but for some reason I did not take this trade. The reason why I did not engage on this is because I have traded this for some time, and I've noticed that whenever price opened on a new day, the price action of this gold, right, this particular gold on crypto tends to follow this one. So the charting on this is not as reliable. It's not as like, or let me say, the candlestick formation, the way it creates candlestick. But if I follow it, I might get a wrong move. But this is what I rely on. So that was the main reason why I did not touch it. So what did I do when we came into the new week? So when we came into the new week on Monday, price respected it. and dropped again. And after dropping, I did not see any entry. I waited for price to retest to this level so I can sell. No retest. So finally, price gave us a breaker block, which was price retested, price retraced, then came back to this level and retraced one more time, and then broke this with a huge volume. And after price broke this with a huge volume, what did I do? I went over to the 30 minutes time frame. That's what I did. I went back to the 30 minutes time frame, and we can see here after price did that, I went back to the 30 minutes time frame, and then price tapped into this level. Then I waited for my breaker block confirmation entry, and price gave it, and then I sold. This was one of the best trade for the week after GU. So one thing that I like about this was that it was very fast and it came in the morning, like in the early hours of the morning. After the market analysis I did that morning, I think when was this? Okay. No, that was this was not like the market analysis. Yes, this was like the market analysis. So I did the market analysis breaking into this Tuesday morning. So I was awake throughout that night waiting for this, watched it, and then we executed. Before we even went about our day, we had already smashed TP and made a huge amount of money. And then we were so happy, and it was crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was crazy. So it was so beautiful. So this was what happened on Gold on that particular day. So after that, like I said, I was expecting price to do that move, which was break, retraced, and break that recent low because it closed below. You see that price they did this on this previous time. See right here, price ranged, then price broke below. You notice something? Price did not close below. It rejected. If it had closed below, I would have expected price to do a retracement, come back before it continues any bullish move. Gold does it a lot. So that being said, let's continue. So after this, I said, okay, then we have to look. Then now we can look bullish because price has done what I was expecting. I was expecting, and after that, I knew. I just knew that yes, after price has done this, now is to look for a bullish move. Some persons were actually still trying to look for a sell down to this level. I, this from this sell right here. On a normal day, I would have been looking to sell down to this level because this guy is exhausted. This is another block. This is a money star order block, also exhausted. So I want price to go down, but I know that we are on a daily level. So all I have to do is just wait for price to engineer a liquidity and sweep it, which price did. Price engineered one. So persons try to buy here, I'm sure of that. And price did what? Price swept it. And now we know we can go bullish. But I missed this bullish move, which was very crazy. I missed this bullish move. So what happened here? After price swept this level, price then gave us our engulfing confirmation right here. After giving us our engulfing confirmation, I was asleep, man. I woke up and then I saw price already moving on this level. Price has already gotten here. I would have continued this move from here, but man, I said no, I left it. I did not touch this anymore. But I was able to enter from this level using the knowledge of CISD. I learned this from Tech Quiz. So I am still looking forward to mastering this, getting more knowledge on this, but I just know CISD, and so I said why not? I just entered this 2 hour. I just took it on one of my accounts which I trade on the gold. So I just entered this and that was all. But this was what I was supposed to take. This move right here. See how beautiful it is. This beautiful move here. This is about 7 hour. I streamlined this very well based on the way I would have taken it. See how beautiful it is. 8 hour actually. So beautiful. So we missed it. So anyways, after we missed that, price then continued, and then we were looking for price to come back and give us a move, but price did not come back. So what did price do? Price then ranged here. You can see right here. Price ranged. And then after price ranged from this level, now we will wait for a breakout. Since I had no bias to enter a buy anywhere around here, then I can hold the breakout. So price then broke out. After breaking out, then I try to continue this move. I try to continue the move from here. I try to continue this move from here, giving us this breakout block right here. So after this breakout block move, then I looked for a 30-minute structure. And price came in, gave us a confirmation, and then we bought from this level. So there was a news. This was on Friday, which was just yesterday. So price then gave us a 2-hour and then reversed. And then price reversed, and after reversing, price came into this level right here. Price came into this level right here, this level, and swept inducement. Then price bought from this level, and then we lost this. We lost this move. Now, what was the mistake I made right here? Unlike EURUSD, which I have not actually seen any mistake I made, I just followed my bias and then I hit stop loss right there. But on this gold, we can see right here, I said something about this range breakout and retest. So price range there, and then price broke out. Now I said I always expect price to do a retracement. It doesn't have to do a retest, but this time it retested. But I don't always expect a retest. Price doesn't do a retest all the time on gold. So price will just do maybe a small retracement and then boom, before any other thing can happen. So I don't have any reason to buy, but just this information now say, okay, let me buy. You see that? So what mistake did I make? I did not wait for a proper retracement where price takes a valid pullback, but instead I was trying to continue the bullish move. The I tried to continue the breakout, ignoring the fact that price might retest. So after price gave me my clean breakout right here, what did price do? Price then did that retracement. This retracement was confirmed by price taking the low of this candle. After taking the low of the recent candle, then that's the valid retracement. And how would I have traded that retracement? I would have waited, look for an entry below previous candles. That shows a valid retracement. Then this is the entry I would have taken. Price retrace into this level. Then we enter from here, and this is our inducement. And boom. Then we hold it for price to close the 4-hour candle or take this high. And that would have been it. But then we made a mistake and took a loss. And this was a very big loss though, because of the news. Price swept the whole thing, and I lost a huge amount of money on this. I had a risk of some amount, and price took like twice that amount. But anyways, this is the game we came to play. So no matter what happened, we keep playing. So this is what happened on gold for the week. So what actually happened day by day? So we can see right here on Monday we had a bearish move, a little bearish move. On Tuesday, a full bearish move. On Wednesday, price then decided to go bullish. Thursday bullish, and Friday the bullish continued. So I think from next week we might be having more moves. And there is a news about the US planning on bombing Iran. So I don't know if this is a gamble where they play people. So I don't know if that bomb blasting gonna happen. If it does, then we might be seeing gold going higher. Maybe it will not happen because it can make people now try to long gold, and now it doesn't happen. Not actually intentionally, though I won't say the government is trying to do it intentionally, but maybe now sentiment has come into the market. Oh, the bomb is coming, and everyone now want to buy everywhere they can. and then it doesn't happen, and then gold start to retrace, and gold might keep going bullish. But I'm not gonna use the news. One thing I avoid doing is focusing on the news. Anyway, I'll talk about this at the end of the video. Let me not talk about that now. So on silver, what did we have for the week? So on silver, the level I was expecting price to come into, price did not actually come into that level. So what actually happened this week? So we can see from this level I said I was expecting the sell, price actually sold, but I did not get an entry. So after that, we are looking for a confirmation, which price finally gave us a confirmation. Swap this level, then give us our engulfing price engulf this candle finally after a third candle, and price did not retrace to give us a move. Price just continued. So on silver, we have our bias plays right, but price did not give us an entry. So I wish price had given us an entry. And this silver is very sweet to trade when you are right, man. You're in some for a very good amount of money. So what price just did was price just validated our daily structure. So you can see here on Monday, a little bullish close. Then price dropped bearish and closed above bullish. And this was a good entry. But I cannot take this because it's on daily time frame. The price just started and left. Price is not even trying to give us a 4 hour move and just boom. So that's what actually happened on silver. So this is our move for the week. The levels we are looking at and how price reacted to them. We won some and we lost some. But at the end of the week, I say it was a profitable week and we learned something new. Yes, a little thing on gold. We learned something new. And I'm grateful for the week. It was an interesting one. And that being said, so like I was saying about the news, I don't like watching the news. Like there is this guy on Telegram. He drops news updates, and whenever I read those things, it makes me want to panic, want to try to take moves, want to try to hold position more than I'm supposed to hold the position, and things like that, which can be scary. Yeah, people trade fundamentals, and yes, it works for them. But and all technicals, I don't like trading the news. I don't like looking at the news, so it doesn't make me make wrong decision. I think the chart alone gives all indication on what it wants to do, and the news tends to always follow it. That's the funny thing. The news tends to always follow it. So I just look at the chart and try to see what the chart is saying. But then I follow what the chart is saying. I'm not trying to, oh, what's the news? Okay, you're trying to do this. It's going to try to do this, and I want to rush and make decision based on sentiment and emotions. No, it's all technicals and logic. What is price really doing? Then I react, and that's it. So it was a good week, and I hope you all have a good weekend. Today I'll have to study. Studying is extremely hard. When I try to study, it's a kind of crazy tiredness just comes. But today I have to study something I have to actually look into. Today I have to make sure I study today. So I have to go about my day, do certain things I'm meant to do, then come back to the chat and do some study. And I hope I do the study. But anyways, I hope you have a good weekend. Touch grass. Yeah. I don't hear this statement anymore. It was very popular, I think, 2024, 2023. Touch grass. Yes, go and touch the fucking grass. And have a nice weekend. Bye.